This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombarnardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Wherever I said, you heard me. We were about to talk about something off the air, and I went, no, I want to talk about that on the air because it's something I find it's a very, very good show. First of all, Tevin was about to tell me he has started watching or almost finished watching.
Yep.
Something I just absolutely love. Billy Bob Thornton was just on the show, what, a week, 2 ago, something like that?
Yeah, like a week and a half or something.
Yeah, right.
Week and a half. Billy Bob Thornton is one of my favorite people. He came to town, appeared at the State Fair, and came into the studio back in the day. Just a really, really nice guy. And, he called and thanked us for the interview, said things are going well. So now, turning it over to Tevin, who is going to tell us, he just revealed this morning he's been watching Landman, but I said, let's save it for the show, baby.
Yeah, well, after talking with Billy Bob, I was like, let me give it a shot and see what it's about. And, like, his
Wait. Let's back up 1 second. After I talked to Billy Bob,
yeah,
it's like when I talked to Frank Sinatra.
That's right. Had a little conversation. But, and I mean, obviously, you love the show as well. So I was like, let me see what all the hype is about. And so his character is phenomenal because he tells just about everybody, including the cartel, to go F themselves about every other line. His ex-wife relationship, very messy. There's just a lot of family drama, it feels like, going on. And you got the cartel, you've got, just every scene, I feel like everybody's drinking a beer, but they all drink Mick Ultras and say that they're recovering alcoholics, so it doesn't really count as drinking, which I think is hilarious. But yeah, it's action packed. There's explosions. It's great, but it's also like I feel like all the sub stories, whether it's his kids or his wife / ex-wife / whatever they are today, like all of that is great as well. So I feel like there's going to be a spin-off show or two about this because there's so many plot lines that are great. Taylor Sheridan, 10 out of 10.
He's semi. Can you keep your picture up, or is it just you're going to start charging to look at your picture? Is that what you're going to do? It's going to cost you $1 an hour just to look at my picture.
Fair. And now it's the wrong one.
He's got his Viking shirt on. Turn your camera back. Oh, good, he did. Thank God.
For now.
What the hell are you doing?
I don't know. I didn't even touch anything.
You're a disaster.
All right, now we're back.
There
you go. What did I say about that Viking shirt?
I was in a rush this morning.
Just grab whatever you
I was wearing a Timberwolves hoodie.
Well, I'm glad you like Landman because I think, look, if Billy Bob Thornton's in it, I will watch it. He's just a great guy in person. Lucky enough to have met him a few times, had him on the show a number of times. Just a really, really good guy and a hell of a good actor. It's too bad there aren't any good-looking women in it, though.
Yeah, they definitely casted, whether it's the lawyer, his wife, his daughter, like seems like every girl in that show was picked for a reason.
No question about it. I have a question for both of you, and we can continue with this conversation or not. I just looked at the list for the people today. I didn't know Rod Carew was going to be on, but let me just tell you something. If that's real, you better make sure that he's out of here before Gelfand gets here.
No, it's not real. It's Gelfand's computer, and so when he sits down, it'll have his name tag there. And so we're gonna ask Gelfand about Rod Carew and see if we can get him going a little bit.
Maybe you should let me know you're going to do these things. I looked at him and went, oh my God, we got to get him out of studio before Gelfand gets there.
The list of people.
Jesus. Unbelievable. Got some great guests on today, though. Actually, you have booked some real guests today. Not Rod Carew, but, whatever works. Whatever works is all I have to say. Do you guys have any one person, because, you've been on the shows and this, that, and the other thing. Do you have any one person that just can't stand you that it came on your show, but now they've decided they don't like you at all?
Not that I know of. I don't think I have any arch nemesis. The closest thing I had was who's the You Can Do It in all the Adam Sandler movies?
Rob Schneider.
Oh, Rob Schneider.
Me and him had a feud
for like
but it was weird because then at the end of it he was like, I'm making a Netflix show or I'm doing some show out in LA. Do you want to come be my assistant? And I was like, absolutely not. Absolutely.
Why don't you want to be his assistant out in LA? You could become a movie star.
I mean, looking back at it, probably should have just sucked it up and went. But he's a very difficult person to make sure that you get everything particularly right.
Maybe maybe that's his thing. Maybe he goes around to all these like different comedy clubs and he puts them through hell to see it's a test and you passed. And then he was going to be so much better to you out in LA, and then you passed it up.
Once I got yelled at because his broccoli wasn't steamed correctly.
Oh, Jesus.
That's when I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm out, sir.
Oh, God. First of all, I like broccoli, but I don't care if it's steamed or not. Who cares?
How else do you steam it?
So
is there not one
he's
way?
a big like health nut, and so the chef like steams the broccoli, and he goes like, should I put like pepper or something on here? Because he just wants plain broccoli. I was like, yeah, put some pepper on there, like season it a little bit. And then that was all she wrote. And then I also had to go to Whole Foods to get him organic apples for his flight back home. God. Sunday night, last show in town. I'm like, all right, cool. Got the apples. They were sitting in the cooler at the House of Comedy. You drop him off at his hotel, which he could have walked to because it's connected to the Mall of America, but that's a whole nother story. And so he goes, do you have the apples? And I was like, oh, shoot. They're in the cooler. I'll drop them off at the front desk. They'll bring them up to your room. Everything will be fine. He's like, well, are they organic? And I was like, yep, they're organic. Went to the organic section. They have the sticker on them to even prove that they're organic.
Sure.
Well, Tevin, just because they have the sticker on it doesn't mean it's organic.
Oh, God.
Did they go to the farm, Rob?
I went to the sign that said organic apples, looked down, picked those apples out of the bin. Well, Tevin, it's really not that hard to just get organic apples. And I'm like, do you want the apples or not? He's like, well, not organic. Well, you don't get any apples. So I sent Rob Schneider back to LA with no apples. Right. And then, like, we pull up to the hotel after this little exchange. And he kind of sits there, and I was like, oh, damn it. He's going to cuss me out, and he's going to tell Rick Bronson, and I'm going to get fired. And he goes, I'm filming a new show. How'd you like to come work for me? I was like, I'll think about it. Get out of my car, please.
We'll get back to you. You know, the funny thing about that is he and I have always gotten along really, really well because I keep my distance from him.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you have to deal with him directly, I don't think I would care for that, but he's always been very, very pleasant. I mean, he's an interesting guy, let me put it that way.
Yeah, and he was a very nice guy other than that. He's just very particular about what he needed, especially when it came to his diet.
Okay, I want the average person who just made that argument with Tevin, if you're like that, I want you to prove to me that those are organic apples.
That was my point. Like, what do you mean?
Like what?
How about you prove to me that they aren't?
Yeah, well, exactly. Either way, prove to me, I can't have that asparagus. What?
Yeah.
Calm down, for Christ's sake. And these are probably the same people who go have about 95 drinks after they have their organic apple.
And you said he was going to bring these like on the plane for the flight home?
That was the plan. I don't know if he was just going to eat them on the 3-minute car ride from the mall to the airport, but like I don't think you can just bring snacks onto the plane like that, right?
I think you could if it's like in your bag. I guess I don't know how that all works, but I'm just thinking about like if I am like 30,000 feet up and all of a sudden I just hear a zip, crunch. And I look over and it's Rob Schneider just munching on like a Granny Smith. Yep. Juice is flying everywhere. I'd be like, I don't know.
Well, thanks to me, they didn't get to have that experience. So.
All right, we got to go to break here, but on the way to break, I don't want to read the story. I just want to read the headline because it's very, very important, ladies and gentlemen. There are like these fitness trends to look out for and all the rest of it, but I may as well make the announcement. I've taken another job. Planters offered me $45,000 a year to drive the Nutmobile. So
what?
That's a headline today. That's an actual headline in the National News. Planters is offering $45,000 a year to drive their Nutmobile.
For some reason, I was thinking this was like the part of the fitness one, but like the sort of Planters peanut.
Planters peanuts.
Yeah, similar to the Oscar Mayer, like the Wienermobile type thing. Yeah,
that sounds like a great off-brand like monster truck thing. It's all just branded. It's like the Wiener Monster against the Nut Crusader, and they're just like jumping over cars and.
Well, hey, if it's entertaining, it's entertaining. That's all I got to say, right?
Yeah.
We shall take a break. Be right back. Some sports hunyuck will join us. Okay, Judd something. Is that it?
Judd something, yeah.
Something. Okay. Well, we'll be back in a couple of seconds anyway. South Dakota, one of the most business-friendly states in the country. You know that. There's no better place to settle down and take advantage of those incentives than in Sioux Falls, and I do love Sioux Falls, man. It's a great town. And again, I don't say I love places if I don't. Sioux Falls is a great spot, and people too. As the state's largest city with a metro population over 290,000, Sioux Falls has low business costs, high quality of life. There's no state corporate or personal income tax. That is huge. No inheritance tax and no limits to what your business can achieve. So, here's the deal. South Dakota ranks among the top 10 states in the U.S. for tax friendliness, hardest working people, healthcare and doctors, most popular to move to, inbound state for movers, listed in the 50 best places to live for families, the fastest growing Midwest metro, one of the best places to raise a family, and one of the best small cities for Gen Z workers. So it is for everybody, no question. And like I said, it's a great town anyway. National fourth top inbound city people move to. How does South Dakota stack up against other states? Well, they rank second in the nation for the lowest cost of doing business, the most business-friendly state, and the best business tax climate. And as South Dakota's biggest city, Sioux Falls is at the center of these benefits. Visit www.siouxfallsdevelopment.com.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they talk to you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
This past year has been one of the hardest in MyPillow's history. You know that. It's because of you that they're making it through. Mike Lindell and his employees want to thank you for your continued support by extending their wholesale prices on classic MyPillows. Get standard classic MyPillows now for only $14.98. Can't believe I'm even saying that, though. Only $14.98. But it gets even better. Upgrade to a queen-size MyPillow for just $18.98. King-size, only $1 more. Get My Body Pillows for $29.98 and multi-use MyPillows for only $9.98. So, go to MyPillow.com, use promo code TOM, or you can just call them. Of course, pick up the phone, 800-516-5146. Use promo code TOM to take advantage of these wholesale prices, including the standard MyPillow. Originally $49.98, now only $14.98. You do the math. Queens $18.98 and Kings are only $1 more. Not only that, orders $75 or more, ship absolutely free.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Judd Zalgad now joins us. I watched a little television this morning, a little television news this morning, and I think I literally went on X and said, you know what, I'm just going to make this whole deal, me on X, is going to be nothing but very, very positive because I cannot stand social media, television, all of it now. It's just, everything is so negative right now. What the hell is that all about?
Wish I could tell you. I have no idea. I have no idea. All I can say is that the current state, at least in the past few days of sports in this town, is not helping that cause.
Well, I'm sure that's probably true, but I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but I just Bill Maher had some guest on, Sam somebody. Like I said, I'm trying to focus on the positive in life. You know, I'm a very lucky guy.
Sure.
All the rest of it. But there was a guy in Bill Maher, apparently last night, they're running it on, and Bill Maher starts smoking a cigar during the show, which I found rather interesting. It's like you're too bored talking to me that you have to smoke a cigar to get jacked up. Is that the problem here?
I've seen his set. Yeah, he smokes on set. Yeah,
he does. Yeah, no question about it. But there was a guy in there, Sam somebody. I don't know. It doesn't matter who it is. But he is absolutely convinced, and the reason he's convinced, of course, is because he's going to make a lot of money from this by doing all these appearances. He insists, and look, I got no dog in this fight. I didn't vote. I was supposed to vote, but they never sent me my ballot. They sent Catherine's, but not mine. So I never got a chance to vote. So, you know, whoever's the president is your fault, not mine. Right? So if you don't like him, don't blame it on Uncle Tommy. It's
you have nothing to do with it.
But he was on there talking to Bill Maher this morning, absolutely convinced that Donald Trump getting shot in the ear was totally fake. So my question, and I wonder why Bill Maher didn't bring this up, didn't a guy die from the gunshots and a couple other people were hit with the gunshots?
Yeah, well, what, a firefighter died?
Yeah.
Who was in the stands or in the seats? Yeah, no, definitely.
So if this was fake, how did the guy die? I mean, they hit everybody else but Donald Trump? Is that what you're saying? I was like,
and
what?
The elite marksmanship that it takes to shoot somebody in the ear, but not actually hit anything that's going to kill them. And if I'm Donald Trump, I'm not signing up. I don't care if you tell me it's 100% guaranteed going to work. Like, you're not shooting a gun in my face.
Nope. Oh, God, no. Look, I don't know. I wasn't there. Like I said, I didn't get to vote, so whoever becomes president is your deal. I can live through it and all the rest of it. But I just don't understand why people want to believe this obvious BS that's going on right now at a very high level, the lies that are being told on social media right now. It got to the point that I've taken my X account, and it's going to be all positive. I just decided not one negative thing is going to appear. It's going to be all positive. I don't want to see it anymore. Oh, that was a fake deal. It's like, oh, God. Is your career falling apart, so you got to draw some attention to yourself? Is that what that's really all about?
Well, the thing with social, though, is that it doesn't, like, I think it's great for sports news because ultimately, if someone puts out fake sports news, it's just fake sports news. But the thing with social is there's no, like it's not news. It's not reporting consistently. A lot of times it's just opinion dressed up as fact. And so, like, I've come to the point now where I don't expect to get accurate information from those places. It's either agenda driven or, as the kids say, trolling. And that's basically what it's become.
You know what I really do like now, though, as opposed to, like, I don't know, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, whatever. Doesn't matter if I have to travel to New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, Florida, Nebraska, it doesn't matter. I can watch Channel 5 Eyewitness News wherever I am now, and I really like that you can do that now. They got apps. I really like the fact that I can always see the local news in the Twin Cities no matter where I am.
Yep.
That for me is a huge help because you see, I don't trust Chris Egert, but other than that, it's pretty accurate. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The nice thing too now is, like, that's the thing is, if you can use technology with the I don't know, correct attitude, is that the right words?
Yeah.
Then like there's a lot of great things. Like you can read your paper in around the world, around the country. It doesn't matter. So there are a lot of good things too. But yeah, there's X is a very dangerous platform to believe anything that you see, and I mean all of those things though get blown up eventually by
they do. Yeah.
By this, Facebook started as like a college group. Mm-hmm. It started as a college thing for college kids, and now it's become the entire world sharing pictures of their family.
Which is fine. That's good. All the rest of it, just this whole, I don't know, you're trying to draw attention to yourself, this blah, 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 blah. And, I've had people post something about me that's just flat out not true. So I would hop on there and go, that's not true. And I can prove it to you 100% that what you just said on social media is not true. They don't even respond.
No, because they've trolled you. You see, they want you to want you to respond.
Yep, exactly.
They want you to. My thing now is the best part about X, and to go back to Twitter, there is the mute button,
right?
Where you can mute the person and they don't know, because if you block them, that gives them satisfaction.
They get pissed off. Yeah, I suppose that's true.
Then they win. But if you mute them, it makes them go away forever, and they don't know that they've been that's taking place. So then they can. Then what they do is they respond. They keep responding because they can see your tweets, and the glorious thing is you don't see theirs, and so their trolling ability goes away.
Yeah, see, that's good. I mean, that's good advice for everybody, because I'm telling you, just a couple of days ago it started. I hopped on and just post after post after post is just hateful as hell. Why do you want to live your life so filled with hate? I don't get that.
I think a lot of people live like that, to be honest.
They do.
Yeah.
Why don't you go find somebody that you could fall in love with and go live a nice life? And
But they do that too. They do that, but then the hate wins out.
It does?
Yeah, I think their hate wins out. But I mean, these people have been around forever. It's just that they didn't have a platform. That's the dangerous thing. They now have a platform to express their thoughts and views. We've talked about this before, Tom, but can you imagine, Twitter or X in the 1960s?
Oh God. Everybody.
I mean, you think there wasn't hate then? There was just but they couldn't. But people couldn't express it.
No, they certainly can now, and they're getting really, really good at expressing hate.
They are, yes.
It was kind of weird. A guy attacked me. Somebody sent me that. I can't even remember what it was all about. It was about. I don't even remember what it was about. But the guy just obviously hates my guts and all the rest of it, and he's just kind of going after me pretty hard. And I'm like, I gotta find out who this is. The guy is like a Catholic minister.
Oh yeah.
Like, aren't you supposed to be really positive? I
No.
mean, if you're trying to bring God to people, aren't you supposed to be positive about it?
The best is if somebody really despises you and they tweet something, go look at their profile and look at the followers. My favorite is the obvious people who set up burner accounts. So
Right.
they'll have like 3 people following them, and then they're trying to get a rise from you, and it's not, and God knows who the person truly is, but that's my favorite is that because then it's like you've got, in fact, I've tweeted that back. I said, you've got 3 followers and you're bothering tweeting at me.
I agree.
Just go away. And then they're like, oh, you're a big guy. I'm like, no, you're just you're 1, a troll, and 2, this is a burner account.
Yeah.
Like, at least if you're going to rip me, who are you? Just, So
I feel like so much of this would go away if you had to like put a picture of yourself with your own name.
Yep.
If you can't be like Vikings fan, 1,700 numbers, and then you have 4 followers. One of them is your own, like is yourself because you're dumb enough to like, oh well, I want to get the numbers up.
Right. You just have to verify like your with your driver's license or something. Like
oh, then that's
not a good idea.
It would all be done then, Tevin. All be done then. Did you guys see too that the guy that we talked about, I think it was on Tuesday's show, the Eagles fan who harassed the Packers fan?
Yep.
They not only found out who he was fired from his job, and now they're all upset. There are people upset because it turns out the guy who was with the gal who was harassed went in with like a camera, like they were trying to get a rise from a fan.
Oh.
And so he didn't. The reason he didn't defend her, which he really didn't, was because he wanted to record someone. Like, and I guess, Tom, that part of the story was the guy last week put it out there that he was trying to get people to donate for them to make the trip to go get a fan, and they did. This idiot fell into the trap. Now, he's an idiot, but he fell in. So this was basically, at least from the guy's standpoint, who recorded it, a setup. They wanted to get an Eagles fan doing exactly what this guy did, which is why he does not really get involved when he is when the fan is dropping those very derogatory terms towards what his fiance, his girlfriend, I don't even know what.
Yeah, something.
How about that?
But I just don't understand. So you want a guy to be on camera dropping the "See you next Tuesday"?
Yes.
You really want that?
Now they're famous.
Oh,
quote unquote famous for a viral moment.
Yeah, and they've gotten reached out to by the Philadelphia Eagles, and I'm sure countless news organizations for a quick interview. And I'm sure he does some sort of he has some podcast or blog that he writes or records, and now that's going to get hundreds more listeners than what he's used to. And I mean, if there's a place to go and do that, I don't think you have to announce I'm doing this. I think you can just show up to any Philadelphia.
He got his trip funded though. That was my favorite part. Like last week, he was like putting it out there, fund our trip to Philadelphia. We basically are going to go get an Eagles fan, which he then delivered on.
Oh.
And they showed them. There's a picture of them going into the stadium. And if I saw this correctly, you guys, the guy who recorded it clearly has a camera on himself.
Yes, right.
So like,
yes,
as this guy is dropping these derogatory terms, like the guy who's recording him has a camera that you can see.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Once again, I just don't understand why. Why do you want to do? First of all, if you see that a guy's got a camera in his chest, why would you drop again the "See you next Tuesday"? Why would you even do that?
That's what I'm saying. So the guy got
exactly.
So the guy who got fired from his job got what he deserved. But the point is, the guy who recorded it isn't exactly this wholesome dude. The fact he got the trip funded, or at least tried to get the trip funded, is absolutely my favorite part.
I would be curious to know if they were being obnoxious Packer fans, as Packer fans tend to be. At the game, or if they were just sitting there, quietly watching the game, cheering for their own team, or did they kind of goat this guy into this situation?
Yeah, before 5 minutes ago, I had no reason to doubt the man who posted the video.
Yeah,
but because he originally said this was unwarranted, and we were just kind of watching the game, cheering on our team, and by that time, I think the Packers were down. So I doubt they were getting in the face of the Eagles fans all too much. Right. But still, now that you're telling me that they went there solely with the intention of trying to get a fan in trouble or on camera, harassing them. They tried to get the trip funded. Now it's now I don't know. Now I don't know for sure.
The Eagles sent them Packers gear as a sorry. The Eagles, as a franchise, apologized by sending them Packers gear. It's we are so embarrassed by this. But I think the thing is, everybody knows that the Eagles games are a cesspool.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes it a perfect place. Now you're taking your life in your hands, because that guy was verbally abusive, but there have been times where fans of opposing teams have been beaten to a pulp.
Oh yes.
So like the next time around, my guess is if somebody sees that an opposing fan has a camera, you're going to have a problem, because the person with the camera is going to get the crap kicked out of him probably. But that being said, it's the cesspool aspect that people are now trying to. In fact, I saw something now. Now there was a Rams fan or something trying to do the same thing for the next game, because they know that these Philadelphia fans are hotheads. They're drunk, and they are, they are perfect, unfortunately, for a video to go viral.
I don't look. I love Philadelphia. I know many people don't like Philadelphia. I don't know. I kind of maybe fit in with that kind of people. So here's Uncle Tommy's advice. You want to go to Philadelphia, go to a restaurant and have some tiramisu, because that's where it was invented, and then go home. It's this whole I'm a tough guy. Look, I've known a lot of tough guys in my life. You and I aren't tough guys. I'm sorry, but I know you don't want to be pushing that too far, because they could have run into a guy that would have smoked every one of them.
That's what I'm saying. It's that's the next.
Yes.
Unfortunately, that's the next step, because that there's going to be yahoos now who are well, that must work. I can get somebody fired. I can get famous. And the next time around, it's going to be a guy that decides that he's going to, especially drunk, if he sees a camera, he's going to attack that guy. And you're really going to have problems. I mean, I'm not defending it, but it all to me is what you're talking about, which is the world run amok.
Yeah. Look, I've told the story, and I just love the story. Going to a wedding in Philadelphia, Rittenhouse Square. I'm walking past. There's a cop leaning against the fence. As I walk by, I go, "Good afternoon, beautiful day," and the cop goes, "Yeah, right."
That's Philly.
That's such a Philadelphia thing to do.
That's Philly. I love it. That is quintessential Philadelphia.
It is. You're the best in the business, Judd. That's all. Don't tell Phil I said that.
I won't. I don't. I definitely won't. I appreciate it.
I want you to go start a fight at the next Viking game next year.
You know how long it's been since I have engaged in
engaged.
We'll strap a GoPro to your chest. That's
yeah. There you go.
Abuse me here.
Here's what I don't get though. Just last thing. If you're gonna do this, okay. So if you're trying to basically goad a fan in a stadium where people have a tendency to be violent, why would you take your girlfriend, wife?
Yeah.
Take your okay, you're a moron, but take your buddy. Because seriously, if he gets jumped, he gets jumped.
Right.
But like, why would you put anyone who you supposedly love, or in that position?
Yeah, and if your girlfriend or wife is this huge Packer fan, why don't she wear the camera and you stand in harm's way? Like,
there you go.
I just wouldn't involve my wife in a million. Like if I was young and stupid like that, I wouldn't involve my wife in a million years. Take your buddy.
Yeah.
So if you have to fight, because there's a chance you have to fight.
Yeah, that was my biggest thing. Is like, I understand, like, okay, we're gonna ignore it after a little bit, but he didn't even offer, like, honey, do you want to switch places so I'm close?
Right.
No, he did on purpose. He wanted what happened to her to happen.
Yep.
But that's my point is, if that guy was, what he said was disgusting, but there in those stands, there's been far worse things happen. Like, if people see a person with an opposing jersey there, you've had stuff hurled from 5 rows back.
Let me close with this. I just got a text from a listener. Tracy, have a great day, Mr. Barnard. Have a wonderful day. It's a pleasure to listen to you guys. So look at that. You already made somebody happy today just talking on the show. Aren't you proud of yourself?
That is very nice. Thank you, Tracy.
Very, very sweet.
Thank you.
All right, Judd,
much.
we'll talk to you on the morrow. Oh, no, we will not. It's Friday tomorrow. I keep forgetting it's Friday tomorrow. Tuesday. We're not on Monday, so that's that deal, because it's Martin Luther King Day. We don't do Martin Luther King Day, so.
Okay.
So
sounds good.
Phil tomorrow, and then we'll just get rid of him for an entire week.
Done, yeah. All right, we'll see you.
All right, Pally, thank you. We'll take a break. Be right back in a couple of minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom for Olivia with exciting news. Like I told you, I want to lose about 25 more pounds. I lost 80 already. I want to lose about 25 more. And we're getting started with that very, very soon. Well, kind of already have. I want to introduce you to the new Livia. Livia's taking weight loss to the next level. Same trusted team of registered dietitians, nutritionists, registered nurses you know and love. I said and love. Now offers even more tools for success, including the latest GLP-1 medications for qualifying patients. At Livia Weight Control Centers, they do weight loss differently because everyone's needs are unique. Their you-centric approach. Their you-centric approach means a personalized, comprehensive nutrition and lifestyle plan created just for you. So here's the deal. I went on, God, I don't even know, was that almost a year ago? No, I don't think it's quite been a year yet, but I lost 80 pounds on the first go-round and, then took a break. Well, I was doing a lot of moving around the country, going from city to city to city, so it made it rather difficult, but I held my weight in check, and now I want to lose that 20, 25 more, and we'll let you know how that's going, because I'm going to kick it off. I think it's the first week in Feb when I'm going to kick it off, so that'll be good. Join today, get 25% off Livia's award-winning program. Trust the local experts who've been helping clients lose weight and keep it off for over 15 years. With 9 convenient Livia centers, there's never been a better time to start. Visit Livia.com or call 855-GO-LIVIA to schedule your free consultation. Don't wait. Let's make this your year to succeed. Livia, we do weight loss differently.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain, and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? Inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
It's Tom for Wellshire Alzheimer's and Dementia Care Facilities. Wellshire Alzheimer's and Dementia Care Facilities are a place where your loved one will live with pride and dignity, which is obviously very, very important. If you care deeply about someone in your life, and I hope you do, because it's the greatest thing could ever happen to you, is to actually care deeply for someone. Wellshire is a place I highly recommend. Good family, known them both 2 generations of them now, as a matter of fact. Wellshire is a memory care focused facility, has a full nursing team, all staff within the building 24 hours a day, and that is 7 days a week. They have never used or relied on any staffing agencies. Wellshire Medina is now accepting elderly waivers after 12 months of private pay. I know them personally. They are a family-owned local company, conveniently located right in Medina and Bloomington. They're the best staff memory care facility in the state. Wellshire has a robust community with activities 7 days a week. If your loved one is in need of a memory care facility, please get in touch with my friends at Wellshire. Set up a tour or learn more at wellshiremn.com. That's WEALSHIREMN.com.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombernardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
I did not know that the court case had gone through today, but, I can handle it. It's not going to be a problem. But, Chris Egert's case finally went through, and Chris is now in Stillwater. But, that's what it says on the screen.
I'm on work release right now.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yard time. And I'm not going back. I'm here to tell you that. I'm not going back inside.
Well, if they catch up with you and you have to go back and get a tin cup and go up and down the bars like they always do, because that's a good sound.
It hardens a man, Tom. It hardens a man.
You look very comfortable right now, I will tell you that. Holy crap, you look like you're freezing to death.
No, that's fine. It's awesome.
It's fine.
Now it's almost above freezing. But if you were to come down here on Sunday or Monday, maybe not quite wonderful experience. It'd be like a high temperature of 4 degrees below zero.
Oh, with a wind?
That's the high temperature.
God. Channel 5's Chris Egert, brought to you by Mr. Money Talk. Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. What's the latest, sir?
I'm here to hold the World Snow Sculpting World Championship. So we're doing the show here today at 9. So that's why I'm out in Stillwater. But our big news story today was the Middle East peace deal. Act surprised. It may not happen.
No.
I know.
Well, now let me ask you a question as a news person.
Yeah.
Because both parties jumped on and said, we did this, we got this taken care of. Both Trump jumped on it and Biden jumped on it, and they took credit for it. And now if it doesn't happen, are they going to go, oh, you know what, I got suckered in, sorry. Are you going to jump back on and say you're the one who got suckered?
I mean, you know the answer. Nobody will say
no.
Come up with a bunch of hoo-ha, but it's the Israeli cabinet's not going to meet and discuss the terms of it until Hamas backs off on some of its demands. And I don't know. I was surprised anybody came out and said anything. And I was surprised that there were congratulations. And I was surprised that anybody was celebrating anything because it's so fragile. But
I know. It is unbelievable. What are you sitting outside just because you're on the show right now? I mean, wouldn't you be in your car if you weren't on the show right now?
Well, we're doing the whole thing's out here in the snow, so I guess I figured I might as well come out here and,
Well, I just didn't want you to freeze to death and then have your wife blame it on me.
I got to be outside for the next couple hours anyway. It's no big deal. I'm layered up, Tom. Fine.
So what are they doing that you're out in Stillwater right now? Like, are they physically carving the ice, or are they just getting things set up, or like what stage are they at?
I'm going to try to show you, Ted, since you asked. I don't know how long my signal's going to be down here, but so you've got teams from all over the world who are carving up these giant blocks of snow and like some really, really, really elaborate. Can you guys see?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my,
is that?
It's like a fancy igloo.
So this is a team from Spain, and you can see what they've got going on there. Hello. Hola.
Hola, bitch.
Isn't that what I don't know why I shouted that.
It's hola. It's hola. Nothing wrong with that.
Did you say hola, bitch?
I don't know.
He said hola and I said bitch.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh my God.
What?
Say hola.
It was a guy, not a woman. You can call a guy a bitch.
You're going to start a international situation here, Tom, by calling the Spaniards.
Chris, how much money do I have to Venmo you right now to accidentally trip into somebody's snow sculpture?
Yeah, knock over like a rival country's sculpture.
Oh, he just froze up. You did that intentionally.
That'd be you'd make the classic like news anchor like trashes whatever, and it'd be a viral clip. That might actually be good for your career.
I don't need to go viral, AJ. I need to have to pay my mortgage every month. That's what I need.
Well, there you have it. All right. Well, try not to freeze to death out there today. We look forward to talking to you tomorrow. So be here tomorrow.
Yeah, Tom, thanks for saying hola, bitch, to the nice Spanish people.
Well, they don't know what bitch means anyway. They know hola. But,
of course they do.
Of course they do. All right, Pally. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks. Channel 5's Chris Egert is brought to you by Mr. Money Talk. Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. Okay, I do have a problem with the run sheet. Because the run sheet says that Sydney's going to be on at 9 o'clock, and it also says that Tim Walsh is going to be on at 9 o'clock. So I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, that is Sydney's supposed to be on at about 8:45 here.
Ooh.
She'll be
we better look. It'll be right on time. Now look at that.
Look at us.
Because we took control. She'll be on right on time.
Hola.
You got one job, and you can't even put the right time on a sheet.
Yeah, you're right.
Jesus, Palomino.
I edit the page very weirdly, so that's on me.
Let me just say this: we got to go to break. So, hola, bitch. We'll be right back.
Why should your business bank with North American Banking Company? Here's Austin Bartz of Bartz Lawn and Landscape and Bartz Snow Sculptures.
I started banking with North American, I think, 3.5 years ago. All the people know me by name. I know them by name. It's fun to come into the bank and actually talk to somebody you know. So I made the switch, and I'm very happy. It's the best bank I've ever been at.
So why not bank where I bank? With my friends at North American Banking Company. To learn more about North American Banking Company, go to nabankco.com. That's nabankco.com, or do what I do and stop by any one of their 6 Twin Cities locations. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
It's time for Bradshaw and Bryant. At this time of year, something that we might not think about, slipping and falling on ice when you're out, or worse, someone slipping and falling on your property. Property owners are legally responsible for maintaining a safe environment for visitors. You can post a caution sign or de-ice the area. Failing to do either and somebody getting injured because of your lack of safety precaution can be considered negligent. If someone does slip and fall and suffers an injury, they have a certain amount of time to file a claim, or you lose your right to collect any damages for your injury. If this happens to you, contact an experienced attorney right away. It's free to meet to go over your case. Contact Mike Bryant of Bradshaw and Bryant at MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com. I hope this never happens to you, but if it does, Mike Bryant is the one I recommend to all my friends and listeners.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Sometimes the anxiety for wondering if you've saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? My guy, Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, can sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk. Never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608. Set up your free 48-minute no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments must involve risk. You know that. All comments and opinions of Josh Arnold's do not constitute investment advice. I am a paid endorser.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Yes, it is, ladies and gentlemen. So we good to go?
She is running 5 minutes late. They're in the car on the way in. Patrick emailed me.
Oh, they're going to be in studio?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. She can hang out for a while when she's here anyway. So, yeah, that's good. Yeah, I'm glad that, to hear that she's in studio, because then doesn't matter when she gets here.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Of course, you wouldn't want to, write that down on the sheet that she's in studio or anything like that. I mean, it's a disaster.
I'm just dropping the ball.
Add it to the list of
drop balls, fumble.
Yeah,
I think we're on
list of fumbles.
78 now. From the States.
So what else happened, you guys? Were on anything good?
I was at the Wild game last night, and I was sitting behind. This is not great, but I was sitting behind a couple of Edmonton Oilers fans who were in town, and they, I'm sure, do not reflect the entire Edmonton Oilers fan base and organization. But if they did, it's a terrible look. First off, this lady, she was plastered. She was drinking a lot. She prank called 911.
What?
In the middle of the game.
Oh, God.
And then acted shocked when the police called back. It was a fun time. But every time somebody got up in the third period after the Oilers were they were only up by a goal for most of the third period, but they were clearly in charge of the game. It's like, bye, losers. See, it's like, oh my God, shut up. Also, they were cheering on a goalie who didn't start. He was on the bench the entire game, and it took them to the third period to realize that the guy that they were cheering on was not actually in the game today. So nice.
Well, some good sports fans right there. Let's not pay attention, and we'll just bitch.
Yeah.
They were just pretty drunk, I'm sure.
I just don't understand that whole situation. And so, are we ever going to get a team in the state of Minnesota that's going to win? Is it ever going to happen? In women's sports, they win, but men's sports, we just don't win. Why?
No, men's sports, I feels like the Timberwolves took a huge step back this year. The Wild, I think, more just hurt and trying to get healthy. But
they had another guy go down with an injury last night, got elbowed in the face, and left with a upper body injury because there's nothing that is ever.
I hate that about hockey.
Just tell me what's wrong. Also, we saw you get punched in the face. It's not an arm thing. It's like you have a jaw or something.
Somebody could get their leg amputated on the ice, and they'd be like, lower body.
Yeah. We're not going to tell you exactly what it is.
That's terrible.
And then, the Twins seem to be kind of meddling. And, I mean, who knows if they ever change ownership here with a potential sale in the Vikings. You're right, Tom. And just endless suffering.
We've been suffering. I've been suffering with them for 65 years now. I can't take it anymore. I really can't. I don't know if I'll ever watch another game. You've been pissing in my soup for 65 years, and I'm sick to death. You guys cannot win anything.
And I love that. I don't think I'm ever going to watch a game. That's how I think 95% of Minnesotans feel after the loss. But then it's going to be like, JJ McCarthy looks pretty good, pretty good in minicamp.
Well, that's true. See, that's my problem is we get Sam Darnold was fine for a while, but he choked his ass off in the playoffs. Oh, did he choke? Now, he doesn't have the best protection in the world. That offensive line is lame as hell.
Yeah.
So I don't know what are they going to do? They're going to have to just start all over again? Well, new ownership would start all over again anyway, wouldn't they?
Yeah, well, I think with the Vikings, they have $70 million in cap space, and there's not really too many huge, impactful names that are we have to, sign this guy. And so I think the one thing is we don't have a lot of draft picks. I think we just have a first and a fifth.
Right.
We get a conditional third, I think, for Sam Darnold. But it's going to be a fun offseason because we have money to spend, and we don't have to worry about a quarterback necessarily because we do have J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah.
Healthy though? I mean, is it going to be healthy, JJ?
And that's the thing. He took essentially the entire season off. So in my head, I'd like to think that given they're not going to some mom and pop clinic down the road. They have some best doctors and surgeons and consultants looking at this young man's knee. I would like to think that he's not it's not the Vikings' bad luck that they're going to draft the one guy in that draft class that is just irreparable health-wise. I'd like to think that he's going to be fine.
Yeah.
So
from what I've heard is April, he should be all full speed ahead.
Perfect.
So,
well, hopefully one of these centuries before I just kick the bucket, they might win a Super Bowl. Maybe and not only did they not win a Super Bowl, they got their ass handed to them in all four of them. They're just terrible.
It feels like Ethan and Sage's grandkids are going to be having the same conversation.
Well, Andy has never become. Alex is a Viking fan, but Andy never became a Viking fan. Just for those Andy just goes, why do you even watch that stuff? You know they're going to let you down.
Yeah, he's always been smart, and it's the Vikings are the oldest franchise in professional sports, I believe, right now to not have won a championship.
I think that's true. Yes.
So,
I think that's absolutely true. What are you going to do? All right, let's read a quick story here because this just popped up, and I don't know how you would do this, but it's really great when companies let their employees wear things like nose piercings for self-expression. Of course, they can also lead to self-embarrassment if you're not careful. A woman in Indonesia is going viral after she got her nose ring stuck in the back of an office chair. How?
Ooh, okay. For some reason, part of me was thinking that like this was going to be like a factory that they worked in or something like that. And then her nose ring got clipped to a machine and then it got like ripped out of her. So I'm glad that this is only her nose got stuck on a chair, not her nose got ripped off.
Doing? Did you get your face so close?
Right. She was joking around, sticking her nose in the holes in the back, and when the piercing got caught on the mesh, no one could free it, so they called for help. The woman and the attached chair were taken in the back of a van to a local department where they were able to free it. They had to take her away with a chair on her face.
like scissors and just cutting that mesh on the chair is probably
solution. Yep. Well, that's what I was thinking. Maybe they didn't want to ruin the chair. Maybe that had something to do with it.
Really nice chair.
I don't know, man. There's a video of the entire rescue mission. They had some fun with it. She seemed scared, but during the ride in the back of the van with the chair, but then she rides the attached wheelie chair up to the firefighters. Well, she must have pushed backwards then, I suppose.
Or you think so?
Oh, yeah. She's probably like kneeling on the seat thing. And
first of all, I've never understood. Again, you walk down Plymouth Avenue when I was a kid with a nose ring, I guarantee you somebody would have pulled it out of your nose. I guarantee it. I have never had any interest in that kind of thing. I'm not putting stuff up my nose or hooking something through my lip or any of that. It's not happening.
No. Or there was that trend where you would have like the bull ring with the chain and then you would attach it to your belly button.
Right.
Yes. Those people that
no, thank you.
No, I you had me at the bull ring, like the septum.
Yep, and then they would have a chain that would go on it, and then like you would see people that would also get their belly button pierced, and there would be like a long chain that would like go down.
Yeah,
I see.
Yeah, I just no, I've never had any desire to do that kind of stuff. Piercings. And again, if you do, that's your business. I'm not criticizing you. You live your life. I've never gotten a tattoo in my life. You want tattoos, good for you. Nose ring, all that stuff. I've never had purple or pink hair, which one of these days, maybe. But
never too late. Never too late.
Highly doubt it. It's never too late. Tommy comes into work with pink hair one day.
Why not?
I think I would immediately call Catherine and be like, do we need to be concerned? What's going on? Did you leave him? Are you around to not make sure he doesn't do stuff like this?
Don't give her any ideas. What the hell are you doing? She's sitting right in the other room there with the door open. Now I've lost her forever because of you. Way to go, pal. But in any case, do we have to take another break or any of that stuff, or should we do that here? Because now we're going to come up on our other guest.
Yeah, it might be smart to just hit that one now, and then by the time we come back, they might be calling, or it'll be a minute or two that we have to kill before we get that call. So,
and then she should be here any year
they should be walking through the door like any second now.
Well, she could probably help with the interview then. That'd be good.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right, we'll take a break. Be right back in a couple of minutes. This past year has been one of the hardest in MyPillow's history. It's because of you they're making it through. Mike Lindell and his employees want to thank you for your continued support. By extending their wholesale prices on classic MyPillows, get standard classic MyPillows now for only $14.98. Yes, I said $14.98. I cannot believe I'm even saying that. Only $14.98, but it gets even better. Upgrade to a queen size MyPillow for just $18.98. King size only $1 more. Get My Body Pillows for $29.98 and multi-use MyPillows for only $9.98. So go to MyPillow.com and use promo code TOM, or call 800-516-5146. Use promo code TOM to take advantage of these wholesale prices, including the standard size MyPillow, originally $49.98, now is only $14.98. Queens at $18.98 and Kings only $1 more. Not only that, orders $75 or more ship absolutely free. MyPillow, baby. That's all I got to say.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain and ship issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, well, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? You know, inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
Why should your business bank with North American Banking Company? Here's Austin Bartz of Bartz Lawn and Landscape and Bartz Snow Sculptures.
I started banking with North American, I think, 3.5 years ago. All the people know me by name. I know them by name. It's fun to come into the bank and actually talk to somebody you know. So I made the switch and I'm very happy. It's the best bank I've ever been at.
So why not bank where I bank? With my friends at North American Banking Company. To learn more about North American Banking Company, go to nabankco.com. That's nabankco.com, or do what I do and stop by any one of their 6 Twin Cities locations. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. A little news, a little information. Going to have some people on. So basically what we're going to do now is have like 4 people on at the same time for 10 minutes. That'll work out really well.
Yeah, and I think that sounds good. At least we can even get a jump on that because we've got Mr. Tim Walsh on the line. Ready?
He's on the line now? Good. Excellent. Tim, who's better than you? That's what I want to know.
Good morning. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
We appreciate you coming on, sir. Tim has produced projects including Hightown on Starz, Shooter, USA Network, Night Stalker, The Hunt for a Serial Killer, Netflix, and most notably Chicago PD. By the way, one of my favorite shows of all time. I grew up in North Minneapolis, which can be kind of a little unsettled neighbor. I've always loved cop shows. And a lot of people, I don't know. People do still love cop shows, don't they, Tim? I hope.
Well, I mean, just judging by the reaction of this show, it's overwhelmingly positive from the audience, man. They absolutely, it seems like they were waiting for a show like this, which I'm incredibly grateful for because, you know, we made it for people who love cop shows and want to see like a realistic cop show and not get, you know, bogged down in agendas and politicized and all that stuff.
You know what's amazing about that, Tim, is totally by coincidence, because I hadn't talked to you before this. I posted on social media this morning how grateful I am for all the people that listen to this show. I was just in one of those moods where I think the world's gotten so negative to hear Tim Walsh or maybe even me say, hey, look, I'm grateful for all this and thank you very, very much. You don't hear that much anymore. So, Tim, thank you for saying that. That's great.
Of course. Yeah, that's tragic if we don't hear that. Yeah, I mean, I've just lost my whole neighborhood to the fires out here, and I'm still incredibly grateful for everything I have. We're safe and sound, but you know, I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what home means moving forward, but I'm grateful nonetheless.
I understand. On Call is a boundary-pushing, character-driven half-hour drama that utilizes body cam, dash cam, cell phone footage to create a cinema verité effect. And by the way, Tim, you're really, as far as coming on radio shows and all the rest of it, I'm glad that you honored radio people by putting the word verite in there, because most of them will not even ever have heard that word before. So you made me look good, Tim, is what I'm saying.
Good. Thank you. We were a little concerned that people wouldn't know what that meant, but it found its audience. Yeah.
It found its audience. So where did On Call start? How did it occur to you? Let's get On Call started.
So that all that credit goes to Elliot Wolf and a lot of it to Dick Wolf as well. Elliot's my partner on this. He wrote it with me. We co-created it together, but he had the genius idea of selling this prior to me coming out. And he sold this as almost like a found footage show. Found footage like, you know, like remember the Blair Witch Project and horror movies like that?
Sure,
you know,
sure.
This whole show was supposed to be only through body cam, dash cam, cell phone. And then he and I just decided, let's make it more character driven. And that's the product you have now that's on Prime.
Tim, I have to say this quickly because, Dick Wolf has been around for how many years? He's been around for a long time, correct?
Yes, correct.
The reason I bring and this actually did happen, and I'm not going to spend any time on it, but the first time I ever interviewed Dick Wolf was, I don't know how many years ago. It was a long, long time ago. Really nice guy, great shows he's been attached to. Yeah. You know how he started the interview, Tim?
I could only imagine.
He says to me, Tom, I've listened to your show off and on, here, there, and the rest of it. And yes, Tom, I know that, because at that time, so many years ago, there were phone books. And he said, yes, Tom, I do know that my name in the phone book is Wolf Dick. So I'm like, okay, Dick, I guess this is how we're going to start it. He is a great guy, by the way. Great guy to work with, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it was like, day one when he gave us notes on the first, I think it was outline or script, I made a decision right then and there to shut up and just listen to him. He still is just, he's on the Mount Rushmore of TV producers.
Yep.
And this show is as good as it is because he guided it, and we listened to him and he still has his finger on the pulse. It's actually incredible. And I'm so fortunate to be able to learn from that.
It is wonderful. Tim, tell me all about On Call, your take on On
So On Call is a adrenalized half hour, sort of harkens back to the Adam 12 days. I described when I was hiring the writing staff, I described it as Adam 12 on meth. And I don't really want to give away too much of the plot. I'll just tell you the basic idea of the show. It's patrol cops in Long Beach, specifically a training officer and her rookie. And we're just following these cops as they go from call to call to call.
See, it sounds like right in my wheelhouse. I love those shows. Well, I go down the list of shows you've already been involved with, and I told you Chicago PD, I just absolutely love that show. Night Stalker, Shooter, Hightown, now On Call. And it premieres when?
It dropped January 9th, all 8 episodes.
Okay, good.
Like I said, they're a half hour. They're all actually a little bit under a half hour, so it's a very, very quick binge.
I think it's wonderful. So what I'd like to do, Tim, if we can, is I'd like to watch a few episodes and then maybe a week or two or whatever from now. I'd love to have you back on to talk specifically about the show because, as I said, Tim Walsh, this stuff is right in my wheelhouse. I love the fact that I can tune in and watch this weekend, as a matter of fact.
Well, I would love to come back on and talk to you, man. We made this for you. We made this for the audience. We certainly didn't make it for critics or anybody like that. We made it for you all. And overwhelmingly positive reaction. So I would love to talk to you more about it. Please do watch. Check it out.
Okay, so you guys got that. Tim Walsh, we got to book Tim in a couple of weeks because Tim, I cannot wait to talk to you again after watching the show. That's even a better part. I talk to people before the show comes out, and then the show comes out, and then they come back on. And I talk to them. It's just it's such a great take out of your own brain. Going, you know what? This is exactly what I thought it would be. Because I've loved your work in the past. We've talked about that before, but I will definitely reach out to you again. I would love to have you back on, sir.
I would love to be back on, man. Thank you.
Thanks, Tim. Tim Walsley. The show called On Call. I love it. The one funny thing about that, I was thinking about Dick Wolf because, I know my name in the phone book is Wolf Dick, and I started laughing about that.
Yeah.
But my brain went all the way back into yes, I was looking in the phone book. I was like, God. I thought about it, I was like, what?
Because these days, like, what the hell is a phone book?
Yeah,
what the hell is a phone book? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
What a great guy. We've had him on before back in the day on the Q and all the rest of it. But just a really, really decent guy. Don't you think?
I think so.
Yeah. And like with Dick Wolf, he was, like, at least for me, the first like celebrity kind of producer type guy that you paid attention to. Because everybody had the executive producer, Dick Wolf, because it was on every show in the tape.
Absolutely.
It was mostly on CBS, was it not? I think.
Yeah, because he was Law and Order?
Yes.
Yeah. So whatever network, I think that was.
Is that NBC?
Yeah, that feels like NBC.
Yeah. That was NBC. You know what? You're probably right. It probably was NBC.
He was like Taylor Sheridan before Taylor Sheridan.
Yeah. Taylor Sheridan is the new age
Dick Wolf,
yes, exactly.
With a not as cool a name though.
Not
as cool a name.
No.
Taylor Sheridan's a much cooler name. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying Dick Wolf is a much
Dick Wolf. Well, that's, I suppose that's, look it up in the phone book. Yeah. The what? Thank you very much. Great to be
Owls at the Moon.
You guys want to kill a couple minutes here, and I'll get Sydney set up in studio?
I think it's a wonderful idea. We could, we don't want to take the break till just before Kristen.
Right? Yeah, I'll get Sydney set up.
I love it.
Jaw jack a little bit.
We can.
Why would you trigger him before he gets off the mic?
I like it. I like that whole deal. I want to run this by you because you're big into fitness. You still work out a lot, do you not?
Yeah, I try to get in the gym 3-4 days a week.
Well, here you go. It's 2025, the year you finally stick to that resolution and get in better shape. Here's some useful info that could help. So you're going to be the judge if this really is useful or not.
Yep.
Okay. A new poll looked at 4 fitness trends to expect this year. Team sports and studio-based workouts are trendy. 19% of people who work out regularly expect to participate in team sports this year. Is that you too?
Oh no, I don't have enough friends to do team sports.
You just don't? Okay,
No.
well, that makes sense to me. There's no question. Oh, AJ's got a look on his face. What's that look?
Oh, he's helping Sydney get all set up here in studio. There we go.
All set up and ready. Sydney.
What's up?
Nothing to it. I just got, as you were sitting down, honest to God, I thought that, I'm talking to AJ and Tevin and all, and you sit down and your outfit this morning fits right in with how I grew up, but the women who dress like you are right now were women you didn't want to piss off.
Well, I'm not a woman you want to piss off either.
Well, so I was right. I made the right assumption then.
You did.
No question.
You're an Army vet, correct?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, so yeah, you really don't want to piss her off.
Yeah, I was going to say, absolutely not.
Double time up. So what's going on, Sydney?
What's up? I'm just here. I'm having a good time. I'm waking up. This is early for a comic.
I was going to say, you're used to late night shows. I don't want to get up early to do media.
But I'm here.
Ladies and gentlemen, shows all weekend at Laugh Camp, originally from Texas. Sydney moved to Minnesota, where she made her name in stand-up over the past 3 years before being invited by AJ Wilkerson to move to Nashville. Okay, I got to stop. So you live in Nashville now?
Yes, that's correct.
Do not buy a car, whatever you do, because you do not want to drive in Nashville.
No.
Oh, my God, that freeway. Catherine and I just drove through Nashville about 2 months ago. It took about 2 hours to get through. We're on the freeway.
What time was it?
It was rush hour.
It was okay. There you go. I say you can't drive in Nashville unless it's before 5 a.m. or after 11 p.m.
So you got 11 p.m. to 4 a.m. Perfect. So Catherine and I, next time we'll go through it to like 2 in the morning.
You might hit like 30 minutes of traffic.
Yeah, instead of 2-3 hours of traffic.
Yeah,
very
I always say like Nashville is like the hardest city to get into and out of.
I understand that. And by the way, I will tell you, Nashville, I've done a couple of shows down there. We took back when I was on KQ, we came down and did a couple of shows down there. I think it was like 2-3 years in a row, something like that. 3 years in a row, I think we did it. I love that city. The food there is phenomenal. The entertainment is magnificent. It is a great city.
Yeah, it is. It really is. It took me like 9 months to like it, but I love it now.
Oh, why? Because it was just so different or something?
Yeah, it was just like a kind of a culture shock. I've lived in the Midwest for like 8 years before I moved down to Nashville, and then you get there and it ain't no Minneapolis.
No.
And I love the Twin Cities so much.
Yeah.
So it was just a kind of a culture shock, and it took me a little bit of time to figure it out.
But it all works out in the end. Like I said, the food there is great. The entertainment, you can't top the entertainment. Nashville's phenomenal.
It is. The food, I love the hot chicken there. The hot chicken is so good.
Oh, God. Why did you bring that up, Sydney? Now I got to go there.
Yeah, we're making a road trip.
I'm just convincing everyone to go to Nashville now.
You're going to hate it for the first 9 months, but trust me.
And I don't know whose idea this was. Oh, go ahead. What were you saying?
Just you got to make sure you go at a specific time so you don't get stuck in all that rush hour traffic.
Well, that's very, very true. But Sydney, one of the things, this is going back several years now, but we arrive in Nashville to do the first show, and I'm just kind of hanging out. Who came up with the idea of renting buses with seats on top of them for young women to ride around in making noise? It's quite the scene. It's true.
Your guess is as good as mine because they are still alive and well. They're thriving. That industry. I should have bought stock in it. It's taken off.
No, you're absolutely right. I wish I'd purchased that because they're, much like yourself, very attractive women in Nashville. So, I mean, there are all these attractive young women riding around, making noise, eating stuff. Some of them toss things down to people as they drive. It's like, man, I've never seen anything like that. I was very impressed.
Well, Nashville feels like the bachelorette party capital of the world.
Yeah. They call it Nash Vegas for a reason.
Yeah, it's very, very true. But great city. Are you glad you made the move? I'm certain.
Yeah. I'm so happy I made the move. The comedy scene there is so great. Zany's is amazing.
Well, Zany's, yeah, it is.
Yeah, I mean, like the comedians that work at Zany's and like you get to I guess job shadow under like AJ is just it's so great for your career to have something like that. I love the live music aspect. I felt like once I stopped looking at Nashville as just Broadway and started like venturing out to the other like subdivisions, I was like, this place is actually pretty cool.
Yeah. What like compared to Minneapolis? Minneapolis has a great comedy scene as well. Like, is it more competitive in Nashville? Is there more people from maybe like out of town, similar to like in LA or New York, where people are always kind of flooding there? Like, is it hard to kind of cut your teeth and come up in Nashville?
Yeah, it is a hard scene. I mean, it's competitive.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes it hard. It's a hub. It's easy to travel in and out of, and people are always traveling in and doing spots and leaving. And there's also like a big like clean comedy.
Okay.
Like Nate Land, like Nate Bargatze. That's like big. That's what everyone knows Nashville for is like Nate Land, clean comedy, Christian comedy. So if you're not that, then that's another wall you have to get over.
Is that when you get on stage, are you cracking open the Bible and doing Christian jokes so you fit right in, or like how shocking is that for somebody like yourself to be like, wait, you guys want me to follow up the Christian comedian?
Yeah, brother, I'm cracking the Bible on stage. That's my vibe.
Yeah, I could see that happening. I could see that happening.
No, I'm not. I can be clean, but I'm not a clean comedian by any means. I don't like curse a lot, but I talk about like darker subjects like military experience and stuff like that. So some clean comedy is just not for me.
Yeah. And was that something that maybe was an obstacle that you had to overcome where they're like, oh, sorry, you can't work here. We're only looking for more of clean comedians, or not really?
Not really, no. Zany's, they accept all varieties of comedy and different types and levels. And there's like, I feel like there's like this, I guess if you want to call it dirty, just not clean comedy. Yeah. There's like this subdivision that's starting to rise at Zany's. Okay. And we've got a lot of great headliners that are out there working and grinding that call Zany's home. So they're like building that part up. So it feels like it's like Nate Land's like way up there. It's been built, but like it feels like this other part of that scene is being built up at the same time.
All right. Well, in about 2 minutes, I need to take a break. And then we have a very talented young woman named Kristen Burt comes on. So you can stay for that segment too, can you not?
Yeah, I'm here. I have nothing else planned until later this evening.
Okay, well, I just wanted to make sure because I think the two of you women would do very, very well on this. But I do want to save one story for Kristen Burt to talk to you about. I just saw this information they sent me. Sydney is an Army vet who was injured when a wall fell on her. What? A wall fell on you? What? What is that?
I was curious about that too because your Instagram bio says like, I got hit in the head and it's like a couple screws are loose or what? What's going on here?
Yeah, I do have a traumatic brain injury. There are a couple screws missing. They're not loose. They're gone.
Oh no.
And a HESCO wall barrier fell on top of my squad when we were in Afghanistan. That's like the big wall that looks like it's got like metal fencing around it, and you've got like a Dunlap sack in the middle that you fill with sand. And we just set it up because Ramadan was ending, and we were expecting some indirect fire, so we set this wall up to protect our only communication antenna. and we're just waiting on the guy to come with the bulldozer and fill it with sand. And then a sandstorm came and blew the wall over.
Excellent. I don't know if we can even finish this. Oh my God.
Like, I love like this is probably like the most traumatic story and just instant gut laughs.
You gotta laugh. It's so funny to be. It's so funny to be like injured in a war zone by the wind.
That's a very good. But yes, you didn't get hurt by bullets or anything like that, but the wind almost killed you, so that's good. That's a nice touch. Jesus. Why don't we take a break? We have got to get Kristen Bird involved in this conversation. The two of you, Sydney and Kristen together, this is going to be a piece of work. We will be right back.
Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Sometimes the anxiety for wondering if you've saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? My guy, Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, can sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk. Never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608. Set up your free 48-minute no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments must involve risk. You know that. All comments and opinions of Josh Arnold do not constitute investment advice. I am a paid endorser.
Is that text you're sending so important that you missed your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed? Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
I hosted my show on the radio for 40 years. Now I host the Tom Barnard Podcast, and I'll tell you, I've never seen the passion and engagement from our audience as I do now. I know we also have businesses that listen to our podcast, and it got me thinking, wouldn't it be great to help those businesses grow by telling my listeners about them? So here's the deal. If you own or handle marketing for a business, would like to have my audience buy your product or service, visit TomBernardShow.com, keyword partner, and we'll put together an ad campaign to help your business. That's TomBernardShow.com, keyword partner, and thank you for listening.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kristen Burt, Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. All right, so now basically what's going to happen is, because we have Kristen Burt with us and Sydney Stephens with us, the guys are going to shut up, and you two will. I was waiting all morning for this. Kristen and Sydney on together. This should be a complete disaster.
It's perfect. It's the perfect way to end your show.
You mean forever?
Forever, exactly.
Just go. After 54 years in the business, I'll just get fired today. It'll be perfect.
It's a great way to end. You have a big explosion to end your career.
Wonderful. Sydney, Kristen, Sydney. So we just, I just want to sit back and listen to you two. That's all. I've been looking forward to this all day. I have. I love it when women start yammering. And then, of course, it'll be about
yammering.
I did say yammering. And I will guarantee.
Yapping
too. Yapping, yammering, all the rest of it. But my guess is, and I wrote this down, it'll be about 64 seconds before these guys on the show. I can hear it already coming our way from the
we're going to get attacked.
We're going to get attacked.
I was going to say, Sydney, has he called you a commie or a booze hound yet?
No, but he should.
See, I told you he'd be loud. A commie or a booze hound. You know, one thing I should mention, and I'll shut up after this, but Kristen, I don't know. I literally hopped on social media this morning and said, I'm only going to do positive stuff on this stuff. I cannot read this stuff. Everybody hates everybody, and everybody's horrible, and oh my God, it's just, I'm going to be nothing but positive. Sorry. Got on the elevator this morning. There was a dog on there. Insisted that I pet the dog the entire 16 floors we went down. Made me happier than hell. So I'm sorry to be in such a good mood, but life's a bit. You know.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a lot of emotions. I mean, obviously here in Los Angeles, we've had a really rotten week, and you've got inauguration, and so you've got half the country feeling one way and half the country feeling another way. So I think just talking about positive things will help a lot of people.
I think, Sydney, let me ask you a question about that. Because I grew up a Democrat, very, very poor family in North Minneapolis. And then I tried being a Republican for a while, too, so I've been both, and I'm really neither right now. I can't watch it. I can't listen to it anymore. First of all, it's all about making money now. Well, it always has been about making money, but I don't know. I just wish they would stop poking the bear and pushing people into severe anger. It's just a bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of the same. I grew up extremely Republican. I'm from Texas originally.
Right.
And then being in the Army really opened my eyes to other things like religion and political views and stuff like that. And then obviously living up here for as long as I did, I'm somewhere in the middle, a little bit more liberal now than I have ever been. And I can't stand how divided everyone is.
I agree.
All people, where we're all just experiencing this thing for the first time. Yeah. And I feel like we could, I don't know. I just feel like there's a better way to do things than we're doing things.
I would agree, and I'll say one thing, then I'll shut up because I want to hear you two talk. So I know I'll get insulted several times during the conversation, but I'll hang in there. It'll be just fine. All the rest of it. Already word this morning, this whole Hamas Israel settlement's falling apart, and it ain't gonna happen. So that's sad, don't you think?
It is sad.
That is sad.
So you've heard the same thing, that it's just really coming apart at the seams. Hopefully they can go somehow and fix it and get it done, but it sure doesn't sound like it's going to happen. I don't know.
I hope for the best.
I hope for the best. It's terrible. I've been to war, but I'm very anti. I think we should all just try to get along.
I
would like I don't want any more walls fall on me. I'm good.
Yeah, I don't want any more walls or any wind. I just want peace. And
Sydney just became Miss America, a title holder. I want world peace and puppies, right? They ask conversation questions.
There you go.
But there's nothing wrong with that. World peace and puppies is pretty great. So
it's pretty great.
It is indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, Sydni Stephens with us, shows all weekend at Laugh Camp, and of course Kristen Burt always with us. Propping up my career is what she does.
I'm doing my best. How about some Super Bowl info today?
Oh, Sydney, you're a football fan?
I'm not a football fan. Sydney, are you?
I'm a huge football fan. Go Vikes.
Okay.
Great.
Ooh.
Well, I've got some good broadcast news about it. First of all,
thank you, everybody.
Fox is going to give it to you for free. So for those of you who don't have cable, or and you're only subscribing to streaming networks that don't have live options, you're going to be able to watch it for free on Tubi. So Tubi, of course, is their FAST channel, which is free ad-supported TV. So you'll get to watch it. They will do a pre-show. It won't be the official pre-show. You'll get more of a fluffy lifestyle show with Olivia Coupo before the Super Bowl. But still, you're getting the full game and halftime show. Also, kind of related to Los Angeles, State Farm has decided they've pulled out of their Super Bowl ad because they feel like they need to focus on Los Angeles and what's happening there. And I was like, oh, that's clever, because guess what? If you spent all of your money on a Super Bowl ad just months after ripping away everyone's insurance, you knew that this was a PR disaster in the making. And they pulled out ahead, which was smart. Of course, it is smart. But I'm telling you, it wasn't to focus on LA. It's to avoid a PR mess.
I understand that. Sydney, Kristen, do you think that they're making, because from what I understand, if you want to watch the NFL next year, you're going to have to pay for it because it's not going to be free anymore.
Other than the Super Bowl, probably.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows by then if they'll change the rules.
I know.
But, I mean, honestly, God, isn't it like $50 a month or something?
It's way more than that because it's.
Oh, is it?
Well, yeah, because it's on different streaming platforms.
Oh, that's true.
You got your YouTube TV and your NFL Sunday Ticket, and then your Monday night games on something else, and then your
Thursday night games on Amazon.
Yeah, but not to mention if you're out of market, then you have to buy the NFL package, which is whatever that is, like $200, $300.
It's ridiculous.
I think it's six something. Like if you decide to purchase everything, it's like a little over $600.
$600 for the average person is way out of line.
Of course it is.
Why do they want to lose? Why do they want to lose their audience like that?
It's just greed.
Greed. Okay.
But they're actually making money at it. So as long as people continue to pay, that's the issue.
I know, but how about serving the people? How about that action?
In theory, it sounds like a great idea, but it's the same way like Taylor Swift tickets. People were willing to pay $4,000 for a ticket, and from a reseller. Yes,
that's cheap too. $1,000 for a Taylor Swift ticket. That's
I was saying 4,000. Yeah, but that's it. I mean, people are buying the tickets and then they're reselling them on the market, and people are like, "Well, I want to go see Taylor Swift. I'll pay whatever amount. I will travel to another country to go see her."
And now she is lip syncing her act on some of the shows. She's not even really singing; she's just lip singing. Lip syncing.
No,
I was just in the national news last week.
I mean, could she ever really sing?
Every single artist lip syncs something in their show, and a lot of times it has to do with the different elements to the projections, or they're having to do a costume change, or a set piece has to move. It happens.
And I forget what it's called, but they play like a backtrack or whatever it's called, where she
Backing
can hear
vocals.
Yeah, and so people sometimes mistake that for she's not singing her song, but they play it so that way she can hear it and be on beat and all that. 'Cause she's dancing and it's a whole production, so I'd be out of breath personally.
Yeah, and if you have someone like a Jennifer Lopez or a Janet Jackson who does like hardcore dancing, they're lip syncing a lot of that.
Yeah, they are. Yep.
That makes sense. I would be so out of breath.
Like, watch Tevin pant on stage.
I'm just gonna be sweating.
No one wants to listen to the heavy breathing, you know?
Yeah. I run out of breath on stage just telling jokes. I can't imagine adding song and dance to that.
You need to lip sync your jokes now.
I think that's a great idea. The very first lip sync joke teller would be Sydni Stephens. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, but get a voice that clearly doesn't match.
Yeah. Like mine. I'll do it. Yeah. So, okay, I'm the new Sydni Stephens voice.
I love that.
Two guys walk into a bar. Yeah, there you go. Right there. What do you think?
Honestly, I think your voice fits my outfit, so.
It really does. Yes, there's no question about it. There's no question about that. I should tell the original joke, but I can't because everybody get pissed off at me because it's anyway. Moving on.
Don't do it, Tom.
I'm not going to do it.
Whatever it is, don't do it.
I'm not doing it. No, it's funny, but some people might not think so.
No.
Kristen Bird and Sydni Stephens are with us to talk about. What do you want to talk about now?
Saturday Night Live.
What about them?
Oh, big 50th year celebration. Right?
Yes. So Peacock today has a documentary in honor of the 50th, and it's SNL Beyond Saturday Night. It's 4 episodes. It's out on Peacock now. And each episode kind of tackles something different. Like the very first episode is all about the auditions. So you get to see a lot of the comedians at the early start of their career, and some of them bombed and some of them did really well. And so they have those 4 episodes. Plus, February 16th will be the big live variety special on NBC. But this is kind of like the kickoff to the big celebration for 50 seasons of SNL.
They lost me many, many, many years ago when somebody got elected. I don't remember who the hell it was, but they sat at the piano crying. I'm like, that's not why I tuned in to Saturday Night Live. I'm sorry. If you have touchy feelings about politics, keep them to yourself. I tuned in to laugh. Why do they do things like that? I don't get it.
It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm tuning in to check out. I don't want to throw it in my face.
And it feels like with SNL post Will Ferrell, pre like Jay Farrow. Excuse me. That there was like a dip in the SNL production. I feel like that lost a lot of people. Now with Michael Che and everybody, it's kind of making a comeback, but Yeah, for a while it was. I mean, Will Ferrell. A lot of people look at that as like the kind of golden age of
Yeah.
SNL.
Like that Chris Farley era
Yep,
too.
yeah,
Like
yep.
Eddie Murphy era. That's also another one that is. But I think that they've got a good young cast. I mean, Marcelo Hernandez doing Domingo, that caught that was like lightning in a bottle earlier this year with Ariana Grande as the host. I mean, you could not avoid that song on TikTok for at least 2 or 3 weeks. I could not stop playing it in my head. So they've done well with certain sketches. And I think that people may not be sitting down on Saturday to watch it live, but they've done well on social media.
Mm-hmm.
I do like you brought up this documentary and you're like, yeah, some of the comedians bombed. And as soon as you said that, me being a comedian, I'm like, I would hate to be like, hey, mom and dad, I'm in this documentary. And it's bombing 5 minutes.
Yes, exactly.
I made it to Netflix, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think some of them bombing are like Stephen Colbert, Mindy Kaling, like people who went on to success, but they did not pass their SNL audition. Because we have to remember, it does take a very specific type of comedian and skill to be able to do that show. And then sometimes they get the job and then they don't last long because, again, the pace of that show is ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, that's like with anything with comedy, there's just certain things where you got to grind really hard. And even if you grind really hard, you might not get it. Or you might get it and be like, hey, this ain't it.
Yeah. And then I feel like as well, like with stand-up comedy, the SNL scene doesn't necessarily always translate to being successful on the stage. Like I remember working at the House of Comedy and you'd get somebody that would be like, oh my gosh, like they're hilarious on SNL. And then they get on stage and you're like, something's not connecting here. Like, how are you this unfunny, but then you're hilarious on SNL? So it's weird how it all works out.
Yeah, and then success post SNL is also not guaranteed either. So we know so many people who have kind of been huge bright lights on SNL, and then they get out into the rest of the Hollywood landscape, and you're like, what happened to them?
Oh, you got a name? One name? You're not doing it?
Well, I would remember their name, but they became not memorable.
Well, that was a good argument.
To me, like Chris Kattan is someone who I thought was incredibly funny on SNL, and I don't think that's translated to as successful of a Hollywood career as he probably should have had.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
Yeah.
I've talked about this before, Sydney. Kristen's heard this before. They lost me, and I love Dan Aykroyd. I've had him in studio many times. Just a great guy. But they lost me as soon as the Coneheads came on. I was done. I haven't seen that show in like 4. That thing was most unfunny.
Wait, you just told us 2 stories. Was it the Coneheads in the 70s, or was it 2016 with them singing at the piano? Get your story straight, Tom.
Well, no, one was supposed to be funny. That the one at the piano was not supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
No, that's serious.
That was very serious. So they're 2 completely different things, but that's okay. You can try to attack me, and then I'll just bury your argument again.
I am just trying to actually find out what the story is of when they actually lost you. Did they lose you in the 70s, or did they lose you in 2016?
It's been a long, long time. I just don't think that show's funny in the least anymore. I really don't.
Did you?
No, I haven't watched it in a while. So.
Did you watch the Domingo sketch? Because that one was funny.
No, I did not. Should I watch the Domingo sketch?
You watched the Domingo sketch with Ariana Grande. That one was actually funny.
I grew up with a bunch of very, very funny people. I did. The guys I went to high school, men and women went to high school, they were funny as hell. And then you step outside of that and it's like, that's not funny, you know?
Yeah, that's how I feel about the Army. Like some of the hardest I've ever laughed is just with the guys just in the middle of it. And then you get out and you're like, y'all ain't funny like they're funny.
See, there you go. Sydney, you can come back every day now if you want. You just bought a permanent seat on the show. Anytime you want to come in, you're in.
Perfect. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
That's all I have to say. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Oh, I should mention, by the way, I'm glad you brought it to me because there will be no show on Monday because we never work on Martin Luther King Day, and people forget that, but we do not work on Martin Luther King Day. What?
Oh, I did a little chest bump and AJ started laughing.
It was off camera, so I think I was.
Why are you doing a chest bump?
I don't know. I felt like it's Martin Luther King Day, so I had to
show solidarity.
I guess, you know?
So you basically have to destroy a magnificent day. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, you know, everybody, I don't know, go eat some fried chicken or something on Martin Luther King Day.
Oh my God.
A Nashville hot chicken sandwich.
But we are not working on Monday. This is how I found out find out about my schedule is on air.
Yeah, but it was 3-4 days ahead.
I did get some warning this time. Yes,
not the morning of. So.
Yeah, you're fine. Well, if you guys want to work, go ahead and work. I don't give a rat's ass. Go ahead.
I don't know. I will take the day off. But
no. Not up to destroy.
No, we're honoring Martin Luther King.
You're on.
We're honoring him. Yes,
that's what I thought. But you guys made fun of it. So what kind of an honor is that?
I didn't make. I mean, I almost mimicked you.
A little bit of fun of it. Yeah.
I almost mimicked the chest bump, and then I was like, wait a minute, that's not for me.
Yeah. See,
I would have allowed it.
There you go. That's how life should be, right there.
Kristen, with SNL. Sorry to get back to this real quick because I did have a question. Just because knowing some people that are on the show, you hear a lot about Lorne Michaels, like maybe not being the easiest person to work with, and depending on who leaves the show, they have some not so nice things to say. Is that mostly just a disgruntled former employee, or does it have any weight to it?
I think with Lorne Michaels, there's a lot of politics behind the scenes going on, and it's definitely a situation where he's got his favorites. And we see his favorites. They oftentimes get movies or TV shows that he produces outside of the SNL bubble. And I think your experience really depends upon that. If you're a Lorne Michaels favorite, things are going to be great. If you're not, it's going to be hard. And I think it's even interesting watching Yang Bowen, who's on the show right now, was able to do Wicked. Now, he had, and that was a long, because they shot both of those movies back to back. That was a long filming process. And Lauren said, no, you cannot do the show. I mean, the movie. So what Ariana Grande called Lorne Michaels and was like, please let Yang do it. And he will come back and do the show. So Yang was like flying to London, filming all week, and then flying back like Friday night from London, doing the show, flying back again to London, filming for months. Because that was the stipulation that Lorne Michaels had, created for him to be able to do the film. But he wouldn't have been able to do the film at all had Ariana Grande not called in that favor. So Ariana is clearly a favorite. Yang might be a sort of favorite. So you kind of see how certain situations like that play out.
So I have a question for Sydney and for you, Kristen. Oh, and then obviously Tevin and AJ as well. What happened to SCTV? Why did that all of a sudden just disappear?
What is SETV?
SCTV. Second City Television. It was out of Canada. Yeah. Very, very funny show. Much funnier than Saturday Night Live. But it just disappeared. See, I mean, there you go, Sydney. You're in the business. You never even heard of it.
No.
Great
70s,
show.
I feel like maybe it was in the 70s and 80s. Did it last beyond the 80s? I don't remember it into the 90s.
I mean, yeah, probably not. But
yeah,
it was
started in 76, and they had, it looks like 135 episodes. I mean, the cast is pretty good. Like John Candy, Eugene Levy, Catherine O'Hara. I mean, there's some big names here.
Yeah, it's all like the Christopher Guest kind of crowd that wound up working together. Mad TV didn't last.
I love Mad TV though.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
I feel like Mad TV was way better than SNL.
SNL, yeah.
I couldn't agree more.
I felt like they really doubled down on the humor and they didn't care.
There's no well, I mean, some of the great things you had. What the hell was his name that played Count Floyd? Remember, he was a Dracula. He did a Saturday night scary movie show, and he was Count Floyd. Oh God, what the hell's his name? It doesn't matter, I suppose. It doesn't matter what his name was, but
Joe Flaherty.
Joe Flaherty. That's exactly who it was. So he's on one night. The show's on live. I mean, he's playing that the show's on live, and he has to go on camera and tell people that they never received the film they were going to play that night on the scary movie show that he hosted. They never got the film to show it. So he said, "We've changed a few things, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to play this movie." And he was doing that bad an impression of Bela Lugosi, by the way. It was that bad. So don't blame me. But he goes like this. So we've recovered from a huge mistake was made, and unfortunately we didn't get the show we promised to put on tonight. But we have a very, very scary movie for you. The Odd Couple. I mean, now that's funny.
Sketches like that are more memorable, I think, sometimes than the SNL ones. Like Mad TV, they had what was it, Bon Qui Qui?
Welcome to King Burger, where you can have it your way.
Can I get your number skit in the movie theater? Yeah, like so.
Love it.
I think it was edgier than SNL, which SNL's not willing to take that risk. And back in the day, because Mad TV was on Fox, right?
I think so, yeah.
I think so. Fox was a much edgier channel. Like Married with Children was considered like the edgy sitcom at the time.
Yeah.
Like you forget about these things. Even The Simpsons were sort of an alternative animated cartoon.
Loved it. Absolutely loved it. God, the show, you made the show go too fast, Kristen. It's your fault.
Do my best.
Do my best. Sydni Stephens, ladies and gentlemen, shows all weekend at Laugh Camp. Definitely go see her. Nice Texas, Minnesota. So where are you living now?
I live in Nashville, the land of hot chicken and traffic.
Which, again, 3 great places to be from. Texas, Nashville, and the Twin Cities. So, Kristen, any closing words?
If you guys haven't caught The Pit, it's a new show on Max. I meant to talk about it, but LA went in flames. It is starring Noah Wiley, and it follows like a medical ER emergency. Each episode is 1 hour of that emergency. Really well done. So if you're looking for a new medical drama, it's on Max right now. And it's 15 episodes altogether. So it's not just like 6. You can actually dive in a little bit deeper.
I knew that you and Sydney had worked together very well. What did you say?
Sorry, I just Googled it and I was shocked that it had 2 T's.
Pit,
so for anybody else that's listening and wants to find it, it's The Pit with 2 T's.
The Pit.
Like Brad Pitt.
Pitt. Yes, like Brad Pitt, but not about Brad Pitt.
Not about Brad Pitt. All right, Sydney, come back. You have to come back soon.
I would love to come back. This was so much fun.
Oh, we had a ball having you in studio. And again, she will be at Laugh Camp. Is there anybody that doesn't either sing or talk over me on my own show here? I love that. Isn't it just wonderful, Sydney? I try to get one word in, and they just talk right over me, sing over whatever. Jesus, Palomino.
That too. I'm sorry.
Oh, God. All of you go away. Get away from me right now.
I just like to picture you listening to Ariana Grande later on, Tom. That's
what I'll be doing. There's no question about it. Kristen Bird Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabankco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. And as I said, Sydni Stephens will be at Laugh Camp all weekend long. So thank you both. Thank you to everybody. And we will talk to you tomorrow.
Thank you.